Olá, pessoas. Aqui é a Gleice. Tudo bem? Eu espero que sim. Estamos de volta com Final Fantasy XVI, do ponto de nós havíamos parado. E eu achei que eu tinha resolvido a minha vida, mas voltou a ficar tudo bagunçado de novo. Ficou sem tempo novamente, e aí por isso que eu não consegui trazer vídeo antes pra vocês. E provavelmente vai continuar assim. Eu vou ver se eu consigo fazer uma rotinazinha legal aqui para poder não continuar com essa falta de frequência de vídeos no canal, né? Vamos continuar aqui.
First we find Isabel.
Isobel.
Heard a bloke saying he saw ghosts on the far side of the wall.
I saw it with my own eyes. The whole of Oriflamme under flood.
Then we're next.
Os locais estão sendo atacados, né? Eu nem lembro mais, gente. Ó, tá vendo? Não lembro de nada. É tão triste jogar assim.
But you can.
My lord. Milady.
We received the dame's message. There have been sightings of strange creatures, I understand.
With the blue eyes. Yes. Like a Kashyyyk, but different. They've taken so many. I've lost count.
A Kashyyyk, but different.
Ultimus thralls. And what of your mistress? Is she here?
Oh, no. She went to the garrison to ask what they were planning on doing about all this.
Then we'll look for her there.
Deixa eu ver como tá a minha build, que eu também não lembro mais. Tá. E, gente, deixa eu já pedir desculpa também pelos barulhos externos. Eu tô achando que esse vídeo vai ficar com bastante barulho, porque eu tô gravando num horário horrível. Mas vamos lá, porque realmente eu precisava fazer esse vídeo.
The two soldiers were carrying another. He didn't have any legs.
Madame, please! Half the garrison's been slaughtered by those things. We lost the captain this very morning.
We've tried requesting reinforcements, but there's been no word from the capital or the Dominion in days. What more would you have us do?
I would have you do your duty. Those at the Vale look to me for protection. And protect them I shall. Because they are my charges, and that is my duty. In case you have forgotten, the people of this town are your charges. But more than that, they are your people. Your sisters, your brothers, your lovers. So you have a choice. Lay down your sword and watch as they are slaughtered. Or take it up and do what is right.
She speaks the truth, you know. This here, it's all we have. It's all that's left.
What we have left is our lives. Do you really want us to lose them as well?
Ah, que bando de covarde.
Look, there's a cask under the captain's bunk. Let's talk about this over a drink, eh?
I'm listening.
I'll have a word with him.
Ah, Clive. I didn't expect help to arrive so quickly. And sought to take matters into my own hands.
It was a noble effort. But I thought you might still need some support.
I'd like you to consider my needs.
What we need to consider is where the creatures came from.
The way the survivors speak of them, one would think they appeared out of thin air. And perhaps they did. It's hard to know what to believe these days.
We'll talk to the survivors.
Gente, talvez vocês notem um corte aí, que faltou luz aqui. Mas provavelmente não.
You're a pikeman, yes? What happened?
I've got family in Moor.
I heard the flood was spreading, so I went to see if they were all right. And a pack of them glowing things found me in the meadow. I ran for my life. I never did get to the village.
Leave that to us.
My family. They're still in the capital.
It's all right.
Sorry, darling.
Give me your
Truly
arm.
am.
Did you see the creatures that attacked you?
Creatures? Yeah, they came out of nowhere. They went for Joseph first, then me, and then they were just gone.
Do you remember where you were?
On the road from Oriflamme. We just passed Moor when... Where's my Joseph?
It's all right. Just rest now. At least we have an idea of where the thralls might be now. We should head for more.
The two soldiers were carrying another. He didn't have any legs.
Ficou bem diferente aqui na caça-luz desse jeito.
It was all they could do to escape. They just left the bodies there in the flood.
Good girl.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Tudo cagado, mano.
Clive, look.
I see them. With me. Go for it.
Should I prime?
Save your strength. This one.
Cara, até eu acostumar de novo com esse golpe vai demorar uma vida. Qual que esquiva mesmo? Já esqueci, mano. Deixa eu usar esse negócio aqui pra encher minha vida. Filho da mãe.
Nice try. Too slow. Nice try.
Mano, essa combinação ficou excelente, mano.
Do you think there are more?
There are always more. But I'd say we've done what we can for the time being.
Then we should let Isabel know.
You have the town's thanks.
Don't thank us yet. There will be more. Many more. And you'll need to be ready for them.
Oh, we shall. Isn't that right, Captain?
Yes, milady. The garrison will be ready.
Philippe here has convinced most of the men to remain at their posts. For now, at least.
Hearing that the Dane would look kindly on any man who committed himself to the task certainly didn't hurt. It's not the most selfless of motives, I'll admit. But whatever it takes, eh? Now me, I never needed convincing. I became a soldier to protect the people I love. And the people I love include the ones standing before me.
Handsome and chivalrous.
Now, if you don't mind, I have sentries to post. Milady.
Lest you wonder, I'm not foolish enough to believe that this has solved all of my problems. But it has solved one, and that's one fewer than I had this morning. Thank you again, Clive.
Our friends seem to have things under control. For now, at least. Let's go and put Otto's mind at rest. Torgal.
Nunca mais eu fiz a parada de um pilar que tem aqui, né? Falei que ia fazer live, só que, meu, sem tempo nenhum pra fazer.
Patron's Whisper. Come to claim your just desserts? You earned this. Come again. I may have more for you.
Deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui no ferreiro e na lojinha antes de qualquer coisa.
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that.
Aye, it's a dangerous world out there. Finished, are you?
Trouble with your gear, or something falling, do you? Anything else?
Peço perdão, gente. Ah, tem coisa aqui pra ler, hein? Pior que eu não tô com um pingo de vontade de ler. Que saco. Isso aqui é o quê? Sharp dos Guardiões. Nossa, e tem 4 coisas ainda pra me ajudar. Vamos lá. Como vai o repouso? Os guardiões estão se dando bem com os machados e quando não estão exterminando o que restou das ameaças lá nos juncos, estão trabalhando para manter de pé as muralhas do repouso. De qualquer forma, se você não tivesse sido firme, ainda que gentil, ao persuadir aquela horda, é provável que nós estivéssemos com arcaicos até o pescoço. Eu sei que você tem um reino para salvar e tal, mas se um dia precisar de uma revigorada rápida, dê uma passada aqui que a gente abre uma barrica para você. O que é isso? Marta. Uma missão. As chamas queimam intensamente. O Senhor tem o extraordinário talento de aparecer onde mais precisam de sua ajuda. Sem sua lâmina, creio que o repouso estaria nas mãos dos arcaicos e nós seríamos apenas mais uns seus membros. No entanto, agora que estão em desvantagens e divididos, nós guardiões podemos nos esforçar para eliminar os grupos menores sem temer sermos dominados. E os machados sangrentos de Marta poderão voltar a defender o promontório. Quanto ao jovem Oscar, peço que me perdoe por pedir que cuide dele. Ele é um bom rapaz, é atencioso, educado e esforçado. Como pôde ver, ele já aprendeu tudo o que podia comigo. Seria bom para ele continuar a treinar com um escudo mais digno. E não há ninguém mais digno do que o Senhor no reino. Wade. Ah, não é uma missão. Porque tinha um símbolo verde ali, eu achei que fosse. Dramatis Personae. Por ora, o guarda e a liga deixaram as diferenças de lado. Agora a gente pode tomar o nosso cuspe de cobra mais ou menos tranquilamente. E eu arrisco dizer que devemos isso à sua cara metade. Ela foi espetacular. Quanto a você, olha, de um artista aspirante para outro, posso sugerir que você se esforce mais na entrega? E na projeção, e no semblante, e que deixe esses braços e pernas menos duros. E, bom, de todo o resto, não queremos sujar o nome supremo, certo? Nossa, que esquisito. Lubor. Mensagem do rincão setentrional. Clive, a cidade está muito agradecida por você ter nos ajudado a derrotar os servos, mas ninguém teria ingenuidade de achar que nunca mais os veremos. Felipe fez a gentileza de se encarregar que estejamos preparados caso os espectros retornem, mas me preocupo de que a posição de capitão esteja sendo muito pesada para ele. Imagino que o mesmo pode ser dito sobre você e seus fardos. Lembre-se, se acabar sendo demais, você não está sozinho. Nossos corações e nossos braços estão sempre abertos, assim como as portas do véu. Isabelle. É aqui dentro ou é lá fora? Ah, é? Nossa, antes eu tava na cara do personagem que eu tenho que falar, né?
Did you see the pair that got hauled into tires?
A pedra de areté, talvez eu não precise fazer. Eu não vou precisar subir de nível, eu acho. Só se eu for platinar o jogo.
Was wondering when you turn up. Had owls from all our friends thanking you for your timely intervention. How is it you always manage to arrive at just the right moment?
Luck, I suppose. Any word on the rest of the realm?
Let's see. Storm's still crying out for mother crystals. The nations are still in chaos. And the skies are still the color of a kick in the kidneys 2 days on. So...
Right.
Clive, we knew this was going to happen. Well, not the bleeding skies part, but you take my point. Now's not the time to second-guess yourself. Now's the time to visit the infirmary. Talia says your brother's awake.
Thank you, Otto.
So it was not Sylvester, but Olivier who served as Ultima's puppet. And when Dion learned of this, he sought to slay the fiend. Only for his father to take the spear that would have freed him. Enough to drive a man to madness.
Small wonder he hasn't stirred. I would be afraid to wake.
Had I but reached out to him sooner, warned him of the threat Ultima posed. But now, both an empire and her prince lie broken.
Joshua, what do you know of Ultima?
Very little, I'm afraid. Despite my best efforts. 18 years ago, as I lay buried beneath the rubble of Phoenix Gate, 'twas not death who came for me, but another. And it was while in my rescuer's care, I first heard of Ultima. I've been chasing his shadow ever since. Ultima is driven by some deep, dark purpose, and for whatever reason, it would seem you are crucial to his designs. He will stop at nothing to have you, even if that means toppling an empire.
But why me? What possible use could I be to such a creature?
That is one of many answers that have eluded me. Yet, I am certain of this. It is not mere chance. You were chosen for a reason. All dominants carry within them the might of an icon. Nigh limitless power that is at once acutely limited. I wield fire, and only fire.
And I only ice. 8 wardens for 8 elements. But you, Clive.
You are different. You're special. Your abilities begin with the flames of Ifrit. But they do not end there. The fact Ifrit can even exist goes against everything we thought we knew of dominance. Perhaps Ultima has been waiting for one such as you, whose potential is truly limitless.
I've encountered that thing several times now. If it or he, as you say, needs me, why hasn't he claimed me as he did the boy?
Were I to hazard a guess, I'd say the two of you are somehow incompatible. His mind not properly attuned to your body.
His mind?
Mind, awareness, spirit, call it what you wish. But I believe Ultima to be an embodiment of the concept. It is why I struggle and fail to contain him here inside me.
I'm sorry. Inside you?
With every setting sun, I feel my strength wane. And though the Phoenix's flames mend the prison I have made for Ultima, they do so at a cost. We must find a means to bring an end to him before I meet my own.
What were you thinking?
It was that or let him take Clive. And I've always had a soft spot for my brother.
But that doesn't mean you should sacrifice yourself to save me.
Joshua.
Tadinho.
Clive, it's Gav. There's an army of Akashic at the gates of Canver.
Well, what's the short of it?
Thought Tyre told you. The capital of the Free Cities is under siege by an army of monstrosities. The City Guard are doing their best to stem the tide, but numbers ain't on their side.
What of Lord Byron and Mid? Were they able to escape?
No, but they're all right for now. They're hiding with Gav at midship.
We have to get them out of there.
And we shall. Otto, prepare a Stolas. Tell Gav to stay exactly where he is.
Understood.
Vivian, what's the swiftest route to the Free Cities?
That sounds like a question for the map. Look here. This road, through Tabor, should provide the least trouble.
Good.
What a coincidence. Tabor is exactly where I'm bound.
Joshua, Bed is where you should be bound.
You don't think I told him the exact same thing?
Were Tyr not such a talented healer, I would surely have been inclined to agree. But, thanks to her ministrations, I feel I may safely rejoin my attendant, who was to wait for me in Tabor if we became separated.
All right, we travel together.
Clive.
If he stays close to me, he'll be fine.
Thank you, brother.
I'll look after him.
Eita, tem um monte de missão pra fazer, cara. Eu achei que eu já ia direto pro negócio. Nossa, tem caçada também. Jogo. Deixa eu ver o tempo de vídeo. Tá, vamos fazer essa missão aqui. Caçada eu acho que eu vou deixar pra fazer em um único vídeo. Se eu conseguir fazer todas essas missões agora, vai ser excelente.
Here, you put me in this situation, Clive. You can bloody well get me out of it. I need a hand with a recipe.
Are you sure it's me you're looking for? I'm not much of a cook.
I'm all the cook will be needing, thank you very much. What I want from you is a little of your time, right? Oh, and perhaps your sword. You remember Ivan's stew, right? Well, despite the look of the thing, and that awful stench, people wolf it down. So I thought I'd try making one of these supposed masterpieces myself. Had a peek at the book and gave it a go, but, well...
It wasn't as straightforward as you'd hoped. Ivan had the same problem.
Yeah, but this is my blimmin' kitchen, and I will not be outdone. So if you don't want to be seen as playing favorites, I suggest you lend me a hand.
I've never been one to play favorites, Molly. And I would be only too happy to lend you a hand. So, what's on the menu this time?
A fried mortress of skyworm. That's one heck of a name, innit? Recipe seemed easy enough to an old hand like myself. Thought I'd followed it to a T. Only, turns out skyworm livers and drake's mint are not what I thought they were. At least I hope they're not, given the rancid mess they made.
Ivan said the recipes in the culinary pilgrimage date back centuries. Who's to say the ingredients even exist anymore?
Wow. That's a question for a scholar, wouldn't you say? Perhaps you know of one? Kindly old fella who haunts the shelves, maybe?
Fine. I'll go and speak to Harpocrates. Perhaps he'll know something. And if he does, I'll see if I can find your ingredients for you.
You do that. Lest we forget, you've got a reputation to uphold.
Tem gente em perigo e eu tenho que fazer uma receita. É brincadeira, né? Gente em perigo e eu tenho que ajudar com uma receita.
Is a storm coming, Sid? Will there be thunder?
Lawsman Harpocrates. I've come to pick your brain if you don't mind. It's about the book you lent Ivan.
Ah, Valisthea, A Culinary Pilgrimage, a classic. One of my favorites, in fact. The young man did a wonderful job with the Chance's stew. I do hope we shall be able to sample more such marvels in due course.
That's actually why I'm here. I don't suppose you know where I might find skyworm livers and drake's mint.
Ah, so the fabled Sandbrequois delicacy is next on the menu. Delightful. The descriptions of fried mortress never fail to make my mouth water. Now, skyworm is a somewhat antiquated name for the wyvern, their ground livers being the paste from which the mortress is made.
Dragon livers. How very Sambraquois.
One would have thought the disciples of Bahamut would have a touch more reverence for their icon's brethren, but apparently not. I believe the specific dragon the recipe demands is the blueback wyvern, said to be the very color of the sea beside which it resides.
So we know where to look for our liver. But what about the drake's mint?
Saint's bonnet in contemporary parlance, a herb which grows along the North Reach coast. I gather that one can locate the cheerful yellow flowers by their heady scent alone, so I'm sure you'll have no trouble finding them. I may add that people once believed game was best served with the flora that sustained it in life, in which regard fried mortress of skyworm is undoubtedly a typical dish of the time.
Meaning that if I find one, I find the other. To Northreach, then.
Best of luck, Clive. And do save me a bite once the dish is complete.
Será que virou uma caçada? Pô, mas eu não vou conseguir viajar por causa que tá tudo bloqueado. Ai, fiz cagadinha, né, de começar a missão. Devia ter aberto o mapa antes. Sério, é um jogo. Ó, tem uma missão aqui também, hein, pra pegar. É, velho, eu vou ter que ir na missão principal. Talvez quando eu entrar aqui, desbloqueie a viagem rápida. Nossa, que fita, mano. Eu devia ter olhado antes. Ele podia montar no Torgal, né? Lobo gigante. A capa e a adaga.
It's like a dream. The four of us out walking like we used to.
Enjoying this, are you? Gav and the others could be in danger as we speak.
You're right. I'm sorry. Yote is a fine scout. If Canville was attacked, she will already have begun gathering information.
Tabor isn't far. We should pick up the pace.
Tá, tava só esperando eles terminarem de falar. Deixa eu ver aqui se eles bloqueou. Ah, beleza. Aqui também tem missão secundária. Mas a missão que eu tenho que fazer se bobear é aqui mesmo, né? Engraçado, meu controle parou de dar drift do nada.
There were ghosts at the gates not days ago.
You needn't fret. The creatures are...
To the meadows, then.
Nem vem, bichos.
Hippocrates said I should be able to find what I'm looking for somewhere nearby. Bright blue dragons and bright yellow flowers. Should be easy enough to spot. This must be our wyvern. All right. Let's get this over with.
Go for it! Sick!
That's the wyvern's liver. Now I just need to find the herbs. Bright yellow with a heady scent.
Que mixaria, hein, jogo? 5 de dinheiros.
I think that's everything Molly needs to resurrect her recipe. Better head back.
É bem de boa. Bem de boa.
Seems the hideaway's lost its appetite.
So, did you have that word with Tomes then?
I did, and he was as helpful as ever. He told me exactly where to look, in fact.
And what precisely will I be cooking up? Or is it better not to know?
Blueback wyvern liver. And, a herb known as Saint's Bonnet.
Ah, wyvern livers, was it? Well, at least it weren't actual worms, I suppose. Now then, you stay right where you are. I've got some cooking to do. Let's hope these grand old chefs of yore knew what they were on about. And here we have it. Fried mortress of skyworm. Ivan's offered to make sure it's fit for consumption. Well, I say offered. He as good as begged.
And rightly so. Is there any higher honor than partaking in a slice of culinary history?
So, not fit for consumption then?
What witchery is this? The crackle of the crust gives way to an almost violent richness. Yet, it is the piquant kiss of the saint's bonnet that tames this savage dish. It is a tour de force. A force of nature, even. A maelstrom of flavor and sensation. A graceful beast emerging from centuries of slumber.
I think he likes it.
Well, I can't quite tell with all that nonsense he's talking. But I reckon you might be right. It was decent then, I take it.
Decent? It's remarkable. And I defy any man to say a word to the contrary. Sid, might I suggest that you command a party of your finest men and women to procure a dozen blueback wyverns forthwith?
I'll give it some thought.
Eu não comeria isso nem ferrando, odeio fígado. Deixa eu ver o tempo de vídeo. Fazer mais uma só. Espero que seja curtinha.
Is a storm coming, Sid? Will there be thunder?
Sid, perhaps you can help me solve a mystery.
I can certainly try. Who's gone missing this time?
It's not who, but what. Mid's scales, the ones she made for her workshop. I borrowed them to teach the little ones about weight, and shortly after the lesson, well, they vanished. My first thought was that they'd taken them off somewhere to play, but when I asked, they swore they had nothing to do with their having disappeared. Which almost certainly means they had everything to do with it.
Perhaps a visit from Sid will jog their memories.
I think it just might. Thank you. I don't like to imagine that my pupils would lie to me. But if they have, I'll have no choice but to discipline them accordingly. They were in the atrium when I last saw them. As always.
heard the Emperor was impaled on his own son's spear.
We're all gonna die! You hear me? The Akashic are coming and they won't.
What do you reckon we should do? I say we should just tell Miss Shirley.
You'll get us all striped. I'm telling you, I can fix them.
Vocês são uns pestinha, né? Eu fiquei parada aqui olhando eles mesmo, tá, gente?
Sid! Hard at your studies, I see. And what is that? It's not a set of scales, is it?
No. Of course it isn't.
Well, not anymore, it's not. Oh,
And just how long hasn't it been one?
we're sorry.
But we didn't break them. We dismembered them.
Just like Miss Mididol showed us.
Miss Mididol? Why would she have you dismembering her creations?
Because that's the only way to become a ninja-neer.
Miss Mididol said, the best way to see how something works is to take it apart and put it back together again.
Well, then your work is already half done. Carry on.
About that.
The taking apart was easy enough, but it's the putting back we can't work out.
Speak for yourself. The heavy thing goes at the bottom. Then...
You three need to learn to take responsibility for your actions. So let's have a look at these parts with fresh eyes, shall we?
Ah, mano, sério. Primeiro, quando você vai desmontar uma coisa, você tem que ir desmontando e deixando de lado e saber na ordem que você tá desmontando para depois montar de novo. Porque senão você não consegue montar de novo. Meus queridos, pelo amor de Deus.
All right. Everything here was once part of Miss Mididol's scales. Every piece has its own role to play, and each is just as important as the others. If even one of them is missing, the scales won't work. So let's think about what those roles might be. You already know one of the pieces. The body. Its role is to support everything else. But what of the others?
Qual parte eu vou inspecionar? A engrenagem.
This tiny piece is what's called a cogwheel, or gear. Have you ever seen one before?
I have. Miss Mididol's dungeon is full of them. Most are on the floor.
She puts them in all her inventions. They spin round and round and round and round and...
That's right. They're very useful when you want to make things move. Do you remember if there was anything on the scales that moved?
I remember the arm moved when I tried weighing an apple. And then somebody ate it.
It's not my fault. You shouldn't have tried weighing it before lunch.
We know what part's supposed to move and how it's supposed to move. So, let's put the pieces together first, see what doesn't move, and then stick the cogwheel to that.
Not a bad idea. You see? It's not so difficult. This is called the arm. Why do you suppose that is? It doesn't look much like an arm.
You're right. It looks more like a wing. Like a chocobo wing!
You've ridden a chocobo before, haven't you, Sid? Will you teach me to ride one day?
I'll think about it. Now, what do arms do?
Hold things. So wait, maybe this arm holds things too?
Good thinking. You're on the right track. These round parts are called the pans. You all know what a pan is, don't you?
I do. Molly uses them in the kitchens to fry bangers. But these aren't for frying bangers, you idiot. They're for weighing stuff. But what if I wanted to weigh Goots? I don't think he'd fit on that little thing.
Probably not.
What are the chains for? Holding the pans up?
Well spotted. Which means something must hold the chains up in turn. So, now that we've taken stock of the parts and learned what they do, what do you think?
I think we've got it.
Then here's what we'll do. You tell me what goes where, and I'll put the scales together.
Well, obviously you need to start with the body. All the other pieces fit onto it, don't they?
And the arms go on the body, just like real arms. Or wings, if you're a chocobo. And then the arms hold the pans by the chains.
Very good. Let's see if that works. Ah, all finished.
Yes! We did it!
Well, with Sid's help.
Oh, I just put the pieces together. It was you three engineers who showed me how.
That's right. We're Miss Mididol's heirs.
Her hairs?
Yeah, heirs for the future. She's showing us her secrets now, so we can help out the hideaway when we're older.
What do you think, Sid? Are you almost ready?
With a little more help from Miss Mididol and Miss Shirley, I'd say it won't be long at all.
You hear that? It won't be long.
Until then, though, do try to be honest with Miss Shirley.
Hey, look! We never used the cogwheel.
You don't think Sid forgot about it, do you?
Eu tava pensando nisso o tempo inteiro. Eles conversando e eu olhando pra engrenagem na mesa. Aí eu ia comentar depois que acabasse, né? Mas aí eles falaram. Ai, caramba, deixa eu ver aqui. A missão ainda não acabou, né?
Is a storm coming, Sid? Will there be...
Well, did you solve the mystery?
It was as you thought. The children had the scales, or the parts of them at least. They dismantled them to see how they worked.
Oh, no, Mid will have my head.
Thankfully she won't. This might even have been her idea. Although I was the one who ended up teaching the lesson.
I'm so sorry, Sid. I know how busy you are. I shall see that the children are properly punished.
Please, there's no need. Mid seems to have taken the three of them under her wing. She's even calling them her heirs. She'd have them follow in her footsteps. And her father's.
I see. Sid, do you know why Mid has been spending so much time at the hideaway of late?
She told me it was because her studies have been interrupted by events in Canva. Is that not true?
No, it isn't. The university offered her a commission. In exchange for full tuition, room and board, they asked her to oversee the design of several new war engines. To anyone else it would be an opportunity, but to Mid, who lost both her parents to war, it was a bitter pill. One she was none too keen to swallow. But that should come as no surprise. She's only ever cared about bringing people hope. The very last thing war can be said to do.
Which explains her heirs. She's working to give them a better life. And so should I. What's the odd engineering lesson?
Ah, you've given them far more than that. And I'm sure they're very grateful.
Bom, acho que é isso, né, gente? No próximo vídeo eu vou fazer a missão que ficou faltando. Na verdade, ficou faltando duas, né? E ver se eu consigo fazer as caçadas no mesmo dia. Eu não sei quantas tem, eu nem vou olhar agora também. Beleza, gente? Muito obrigada a quem assistiu. Quem puder, por favor, tá deixando um like no vídeo, compartilhando e se inscrevendo no canal pra estar me ajudando. Eu agradeço de coração. Um beijo e tchau, tchau.